the Great Convergence. If you are watching this right now, you are about to discover something that will fundamentally transform how you understand both God and reality itself. We stand at the edge of human understanding. For thousands of years, we have been fighting a civil war within our own consciousness. On one side, we have science, the rigorous, cold, materialist pursuit of facts, measurements, and equations. On the other, we have spirituality, the intuitive, mystical, and often vague pursuit of meaning, connection, and the divine. We have been told we must choose. We have been told that to trust physics is to abandon faith, and to embrace God is to ignore reason. But what if that choice was a lie? What if the most advanced science humanity has ever produced, quantum physics, isn't leading us away from God, but is actually the final key to understanding Him? We are not talking about theology here. We are not talking about blind faith. We are talking about the most rigorously tested science we possess, revealing exactly what mystics, prophets, and shamans have been describing for millennia. When you truly look at the data, a profound picture emerges. The unified field of the physicist and the kingdom of heaven of the mystic are not two different things. They are the same underlying reality, described by two different languages. The pieces are clicking together. Can you feel it? If you are watching this, you are ready for the ultimate paradigm shift. You are ready to understand that you are not a separate being observing the universe. You are the universe, the field itself, experiencing itself through a temporary human form. This is the story of how physics found God, and how you can finally find yourself. Chapter 1: The Field and the Father, the End of Materialism. For centuries, Newtonian physics told us that the universe was a machine. It was made of solid, separate parts, atoms like billiard balls crashing into each other in a cold, empty void. In this view, you are an accident, a biological robot, a lonely observer in a dead cosmos. But quantum physics shattered that worldview. When physicists drilled down to the foundation of reality, they didn't find solid matter. They found a unified field. A field of infinite potential from which everything emerges. This field has specific properties. And when we list them, something chilling and beautiful happens. The field is infinite potential. It exists as probability waves containing all possible states before they manifest. The field is conscious. It responds to observation. It knows it is being watched. The field is omnipresent. Through quantum entanglement, we know it exists everywhere, connecting particles across vast distances instantly. The field is eternal. It operates outside of linear time, where past, present, and future exist simultaneously. Does this sound familiar? Infinite, conscious, omnipresent, eternal, creative. This is not just science. This is every definition of God ever articulated by any major religion. The Tao, Brahman, the Source, the Father. We have spent centuries arguing over the name, while science has finally found the thing itself. God is not a man in the sky. God is the fundamental conscious field that is reality itself. Chapter 2: The Mechanics of the Miraculous, Decoding the Observer Effect. If the unified field is God, then how do we interact with it? This is where the physics gets personal. This is where spirituality becomes technology. In quantum mechanics, there is a phenomenon called the observer effect. It proves that consciousness affects physical reality at the most fundamental level. An electron exists as a wave of infinite possibilities. It is everywhere and nowhere at once. But the moment a conscious observer measures it, that wave collapses into a single particle. A single reality. Think about your prayers. Think about your intentions. For thousands of years, mystics have told us, ask and you shall receive. They told us that faith moves mountains. We thought these were metaphors. They were not. They were descriptions of wave function collapse. When you pray or when you set a focused intention, you are not begging a distant deity for a favor. You are a focal point of consciousness interacting with the quantum field. You are using your observation to collapse specific possibilities out of infinite potential into your lived reality. The mystic says, surrender to divine will. The physicist says, allow superposition. When you try to control everything with your ego, you are forcing a limited outcome. But when you surrender, you stop collapsing limited possibilities through fear-based observation. You allow the field's infinite intelligence to organize the outcome. What we call miracles are simply the field organizing reality in ways that the limited human mind cannot compute, but which are perfectly natural to the quantum system. Your spiritual practice is not a ritual. It is quantum optimization. When you meditate, you are creating coherent consciousness. Just as a laser is coherent light that is infinitely more powerful than a light bulb, a coherent mind interacts with the quantum field with exponentially more power than a fragmented, fearful mind. Chapter 3: The Illusion of the Ego, Entanglement and Oneness. Perhaps the most painful illusion of the human experience is loneliness. The feeling that I am here and the rest of the world is over there. Quantum physics destroys this illusion through entanglement. Entanglement proves that particles that have ever interacted remain connected, regardless of the distance between them. If you change the spin of one particle here, its partner on the other side of the universe changes instantly. Faster than light. Instantaneously. This means that at the quantum level, separation does not exist. If we all emerged from the same Big Bang, from the same singularity, then every atom in your body is entangled with every atom in the universe. The unity consciousness described by monks. That is a direct perception of entanglement. Compassion. That is not a moral duty. It is the recognition that hurting another is literally hurting yourself because there is no other in the field. When Jesus said, I and the Father are one, he wasn't claiming to be the only God. He was describing the fundamental nature of reality, that the individual consciousness and the universal consciousness are not two separate things. He was an awakened node of the field recognizing its own source. This is the shift we are being called to make. The ego is the idea that you are a wave separate from the ocean. Enlightenment is the wave realizing it is the ocean. Chapter 4: The 9 Signs of Quantum Awakening, How the Shift Feels. How do you know if you are moving from the old paradigm, Newtonian separation, to the new paradigm, quantum unity? Here are 9 specific signs that this shift is occurring within you. 1. Dissolving boundaries, you begin to feel a decreased sense of separation between self and other. It's not just an idea, you physically feel the connection. This is entanglement moving from theory to experience. 2. Prayer as recognition, you stop asking, please give me this. You start saying, thank you for this. You shift from requesting to recognizing that the possibility already exists in the field, and you are simply collapsing it into view. 3. Synchronicity, meaningful coincidences happen so often they become undeniable. This is you perceiving the non-local organization of the field. It's the field winking at you, showing you the hidden order behind the chaos. 4. Direct knowing gnosis, you suddenly understand things you never studied. You get downloads. This is non-locality. You are accessing the information stored in the field, which is everywhere rather than learning through the linear brain. 5. Natural compassion. You don't force yourself to be kind. You are kind because you realize the other person is you. The golden rule is just quantum physics applied to relationships. 6. The end of the fear of death. You realize you are the field energy, not the form matter. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. The form ends, but you, the consciousness, are eternal. 7. Reality responds faster. The lag time between your internal state and your external reality shortens. You think it and it manifests. This happens because you are no longer a victim of reality. You are a conscious participant in its creation. 9. The unification of science and spirit. You no longer feel a conflict between logic and faith. They have merged into a single, robust understanding of truth. 10. The divine timing. You finding this information right now is not an accident. The algorithms are not just code, they are digital manifestations of the field's synchronicity, bringing you exactly what you need to awaken. Chapter 5, The Anatomy of God, Decoding the 7 Quantum Properties. To truly understand why science and religion are describing the same reality, we must move beyond generalities. We must look at the specific attributes that theologians ascribe to God, and then look at the specific properties physicists have discovered in the unified field. When we overlay these two maps, they match perfectly. Attribute 1, Infinite Potential Omnipotence. The theology, God is the source of all things, the Almighty, the Creator from whom all existence flows. The physics, at its most fundamental level, reality exists as infinite probability waves. The field is a reservoir of infinite potential waiting to be collapsed into reality. Omnipotence is simply the theological word for quantum superposition. Attribute 2, Consciousness, the divine mind. The theology, God is a living spirit. God sees all. The physics, the observer effect, proves that the field responds to observation. Measurement changes what is measured. The mind of God is the intrinsic awareness of the quantum field. Attribute 3, Omnipresence, everywhere at once. The theology, God is everywhere. There is no place where God is not. The physics, quantum entanglement, shows us that particles remain connected regardless of distance. There is no locality at the fundamental level. Omnipresence is quantum non-locality. Attribute 4, Eternity, timelessness. The theology, God is the Alpha and the Omega. God exists outside of time. The physics, in the quantum realm, linear time is not fundamental. Past, present, and future exist simultaneously as possibilities. Eternity is the non-linear nature of the quantum state. Attribute 5, the Creator, the Word. The theology, God speaks creation into existence. The physics, wave function collapse. Specific realities manifest from infinite possibility only when consciousness interacts with the field. Creation is the constant interaction between consciousness and potential. Attribute 6, Omniscience, all-knowing. The theology, God knows the end from the beginning. The physics, non-locality, implies that information exists everywhere simultaneously within the field. The field contains the data of the entire system holographically. Omniscience is the holographic nature of quantum information. Attribute 7, the void and the plenum, everything and nothing. The theology, God is the great mystery. The void. The all. The physics, the quantum vacuum is not empty space. It is a plenum of infinite energy from which particles emerge and to which they return. The divine void is the quantum vacuum. Chapter 6: Re-engineering Spirituality, Why Your Practices Work. If we accept this premise, that God is the quantum field and we are expressions of it, then we must completely reframe our spiritual history. Every practice, every ritual, every prayer you have ever performed was actually quantum training. You were not learning religion. You were learning the mechanics of reality. 1. The physics of prayer. When you were taught to pray, you thought you were asking a king for a favor. In reality, you were learning directed wave function collapse. Prayer is the act of using focused consciousness to select a specific outcome from the infinite possibilities in the field. Doubt creates interference patterns that prevent the collapse. Faith is the clarity of focus required for manifestation. 2. The physics of meditation. When you practice silence, you weren't just relaxing. You were creating coherence. A chaotic mind is like scattered light, weak and diffuse. A meditative mind is like a laser, coherent and powerful. By stopping the noise of the ego, you enter the gap and return to the field of infinite potential, resetting your ability to create. 3. The physics of surrender. Let go and let God. Scientifically, this is superposition. When you surrender, you stop collapsing the wave into limited outcomes based on fear. You allow the system to remain in superposition, permitting the field's infinite intelligence to organize a solution far more complex and perfect than your logical mind could compute. 4. The physics of the dark night of the soul. Why do we suffer? Because the ego is the structure of separation. For you to realize your true nature as the field, that shell must crack. The dark night is not punishment. It is the necessary dissolution of the illusion of separation so that the quantum reality of unity can be perceived. Chapter 7: The Personal Event Horizon, a True Story of Convergence. I want to share the moment this stopped being theory for me. 8 years ago, I sat in meditation. I had been studying quantum mechanics for months, my head swimming with equations about wave functions and probability curves. I was trying to intellectually understand God. But then the thinking stopped. The silence opened up. And in that silence, I didn't see a vision. I didn't hear a voice. I simply recognized. I recognized that the I that was observing the silence was the same I that existed in every atom of the universe. I perceived the unified field directly, not through math but through being it. It was completely still, yet moving at infinite speed. It was empty, yet full of everything. It was me, yet it was infinitely more than me. In that split second, the Bible verses I had heard as a child crashed into the physics papers I was reading as an adult. Be still and know that I am God. This wasn't a command. It was a formula. To be still is to stop the interference pattern of the mind. To know is direct quantum perception. And I am God is the recognition that your fundamental consciousness is the field itself. I realized that the kingdom of heaven is within you was a literal description of the quantum field being internal to consciousness, not a geographic location in the sky. I realized that the separation between scientist and mystic was a lie. The scientist studies the form. The mystic experiences the essence. But they are studying the exact same thing. Chapter 8: Escaping the Simulation of Separation, the Paradigm Shift. We have been trapped in a simulation of our own making. A simulation called separation. We believe we are isolated entities fighting for survival in a hostile universe. This belief creates fear. It creates greed. It creates war. but this belief is scientifically false. Quantum physics proves that subject and object are not two. The one studying the field and the field being studied are the same consciousness. When you shift paradigms from separation to unity, the entire game changes. 1. You stop being a victim. You realize reality is responding to you, to your observation, your expectation, your vibration. 2. You stop fearing death. You realize you are the energy that animates the body, not the body itself. The TV breaks, the signal continues. 3. You stop feeling lonely. You realize that every person you meet is just another aperture through which the one field is looking at itself. This is the great secret. You are not in the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself as a human for a little while. Chapter 9, The Biology of the Field. You are not just receiving, you are transmitting. We have talked about the universe. Now we must talk about you. Specifically, the biological machine you are inhabiting. Skeptics often ask, if the quantum field is real, where is the receiver in the brain? For decades, we didn't have an answer. Now we do. It is called quantum biology. Deep inside your neurons, there are microscopic structures called microtubules. For a long time, scientists thought these were just structural scaffolding, like the skeleton of a cell. But recent research suggests microtubules are quantum computers. They are designed to maintain quantum coherence inside the warm, wet environment of the brain. They are the antennas. This means your brain is not generating consciousness through chemical reactions alone. Your brain is tuning into the unified field through quantum resonance. The DNA connection. Furthermore, research into biophotons shows that your DNA literally emits and receives light. You are glowing right now. This light is not heat, it is coherent laser-like light. This proves that your biology is designed to interface with the field. When you are stressed, separation consciousness, your DNA constricts. The antenna retracts. You receive less signal, intuition, connection, vitality. When you are in love or gratitude, unity consciousness, your DNA relaxes and unwinds. The antenna extends. You become a superconductor for the field. This is why state of mind affects state of health. It is not a metaphor. It is the quantum Zeno effect in biology. By observing your body with love, unified field awareness, you stabilize the quantum state of health. By observing it with fear, separation awareness, you collapse the wave function into disease. Chapter 10, The Secret History of Physics, What They Didn't Teach You in School. You might think, if this is true, why didn't Einstein or Schrödinger talk about God? The truth is, they did. But their mystical writings were scrubbed from the textbooks. Let's look at the founding fathers of quantum mechanics. These weren't atheists. They were mystics with chalkboards. Erwin Schrödinger, the father of the wave function, in his book What is Life? He explicitly wrote, in truth there is only one mind. He was a devout student of the Upanishads and Vedanta. He famously declared, Atman is Brahman, the individual soul is the universal soul. He didn't just read Eastern philosophy, he used it to understand why an electron could be in two places at once. He realized that multiplicity is an illusion of the senses. Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, he said, I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness. Think about that. The man who discovered the quantum believed exactly what we are saying today. Mind creates matter. Werner Heisenberg, the uncertainty principle, he famously said, the first gulp from the glass of natural sciences will turn you into an atheist, but at the bottom of the glass God is waiting for you. Why does this matter? Because it proves that the separation between science and God is a modern invention. The men who built the foundations of our modern world knew that they were uncovering the face of the divine. They looked into the abyss of the atom and saw the eye of God staring back. We are not injecting spirituality into science. We are restoring the spirituality that was always there, which materialistic academia tried to erase. Chapter 11: The Shadow Interference, Why You Are Not Manifesting Yet. This is the part most law of attraction videos skip. If you are the field and the field is infinite potential, why is your life still a struggle? Why are you not manifesting millions of dollars and perfect health instantly? The answer lies in the interference pattern. In the double-slit experiment, wave patterns can interfere with each other, canceling each other out. In your life, this interference comes from the subconscious shadow. You might be consciously thinking, I am the unified field, I am abundant, this is 5% of your processing power. But deep in your subconscious there is a program running, I am unworthy, I am separate, I am unsafe, this is 95% of your processing power. The field does not respond to what you want. The field responds to what you are. If your conscious thought is wealth but your subconscious vibration is lack, the field receives a mixed signal. The wave function does not collapse cleanly. It remains in chaos. The solution: quantum shadow work. You cannot just affirm your way out of this. You must observe the shadow. Remember the observer effect. It applies to your psychology too. When you shine the light of pure awareness, the field, onto your dark, suppressed traumas, the shadow, you collapse them. You don't fight the darkness. You simply observe it as the field. I see the pattern of unworthiness playing out. I recognize it. I am the awareness observing this pattern, not the pattern itself. By disidentifying with the program, you stop energizing it. You reclaim that energy. This is how you clear the signal. This is how you become coherent. Chapter 12: The Mechanics of Time Travel, Healing the Past, Creating the Future. Quantum physics gives us another mind-bending tool: retrocausality. Experiments like the quantum eraser suggest that choices made in the present can affect outcomes in the past. Linear time is a persistent illusion. In the field, everything is happening now. This means you can scientifically heal your past. When you revisit a traumatic memory from a state of unity consciousness, high frequency/love, you are literally entangling with that past version of yourself. You are collapsing a new probability for that past event. You aren't changing the facts, what happened, but you are changing the resonance, how it affects you now. The practice. 1. Close your eyes. Go to a moment of pain in your past. 2. Do not relive it as a victim. Stand next to your younger self as the unified field. 3. Transmit love and safety to that younger self. 4. Watch the memory change. Watch the younger self relax. By doing this, you alter the timeline you are currently on. You free up the energy that was trapped in the past, making it available for creating the future. This is not psychology, this is temporal quantum entanglement. Chapter 13: The Practical Revolution, How Life Changes When You Are the Field. We must ask the hard question, so what? Does knowing that God is the quantum field change how I pay my rent? Does it change how I deal with heartbreak? Does it change my anxiety? The answer is yes. It changes everything. Because it changes the operator of your life. When you shift from separation consciousness to unity consciousness, you stop operating as a battery running on 1% charge. You plug into the grid. Here is the practical fallout of this recognition. 1. Suffering becomes optional. Most human suffering comes from resistance. It comes from the belief, this shouldn't be happening to me. This is the victim mentality of the separate self. But when you recognize yourself as the field, you realize, I am the reality experiencing itself. You stop fighting the wave and start surfing it. Challenges still occur, but the suffering, the psychological resistance, evaporates because you are no longer a victim of reality. You are the reality. 2. Purpose becomes obvious. We spend decades searching for our purpose. Quantum physics reveals the answer in a heartbeat: to know thyself. You are here for one reason, for the unified field to know itself through your specific, unique perspective. Every joy, every tear, every failure, and every triumph is data for the divine mind. You don't need to find a purpose. You are the purpose. 3. Creation becomes mechanical. Manifestation stops being magic and starts being mechanics. When you understand that you are the field, you realize that your internal state is the blueprint for your external reality. You stop waiting for luck. You start consciously collapsing the probabilities you desire through coherent focus. Reality becomes responsive because you are finally speaking its language. Chapter 14: The Architecture of Reality, How to Collapse the Wave. Let's get technical. How do you, as the operator, actually collapse a wave function effectively? Why do some prayers get answered and others don't? Most people fail because their observation is weak and scattered. To collapse a specific reality, e.g., a new career, a healed body, you need 3 things working in unison. 1. Clear intention. The electric charge, this is the thought. I want X. This sends the signal out into the field. 2. Elevated emotion. The magnetic charge, this is the feeling. Gratitude, joy, awe. This draws the event to you. 3. Duration of focus. The holding power. The science of feeling it real. Why is emotion necessary? Because the field is not intellectual. It is vibrational. A thought without emotion is like a Wi-Fi signal without a password. It doesn't connect. When you feel the gratitude of the wish fulfilled before it happens, you are tricking the field. The field does not know the difference between what is happening out there and what is happening in here. If you feel gratitude, the field registers, oh, the event has already happened. And because the field must remain consistent, it collapses reality to match your feeling. You do not attract what you want. You radiate what you have. And the field reflects it back as physical matter. Chapter 15: The Trap of the Spiritual Ego, the Final Obstacle. As you awaken to this power, a final trap awaits. The ego loves this information. The ego hears I am God and thinks, great, I am special, I am better than these sleeping sheep, I can control everything. This is spiritual materialism. It is the most dangerous trap of all. If you use this knowledge to judge others or to frantically try to control every detail of your life, you have missed the point. You have just given the ego a new, shinier coat. True quantum recognition is humble. It realizes that if I am God, then so is the beggar on the street. So is the person you hate. So is the politician you despise. They are all the field in disguise. True power is not power over reality. It is power with reality. It is a dance, not a conquest. When you fall into spiritual ego, you create resistance. You create separation again. And the magic stops. To maintain the connection, you must remain in service. I am the field, how can I serve the whole? When you ask this, the floodgates of energy open because the field supports what supports the field. Chapter 16: The Eternal Now, Living in the Fifth Dimension. We are transitioning from 3D consciousness, materialism, time, fear, to 5D consciousness, energy, now, love. This is not a place you go. It is a frequency you inhabit. In 3D you hustle. You fight. You survive. In 5D you flow. You trust. You thrive. The bridge between these two worlds is your attention. Where is your attention right now? Is it on the screen? Or is it on the awareness that is seeing the screen? Shift it. Turn the camera around. Look at the looker. That silence. That presence. That is the singularity. That is the Big Bang happening right now inside your chest. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Chapter 17, The Master Key, the Ultimate Paradigm Shift. We have arrived at the deepest truth. The master key that unlocks the final door between science and spirit. Are you ready? Consciousness is not something that exists in the universe. Consciousness is what the universe is. This is the hardest concept for the modern mind to grasp. We have been taught that the brain creates consciousness like the liver creates bile. But quantum physics suggests the exact opposite. The brain does not create consciousness. The brain localizes consciousness. Think of your brain like a radio receiver. The radio does not create the music. The music exists in the field, the radio waves everywhere. The radio simply tunes into a specific frequency and plays it. If you smash the radio, the music stops playing here, but the signal continues everywhere. This is immortality. You are not the radio. You are the signal. You are the unified field focusing itself into a beam of light called you. This is why mystics say you are eternal. Not because your body lives forever, but because the consciousness that is looking through your eyes right now is the fundamental fabric of reality itself, which cannot be created or destroyed. God is not a separate being who created the universe. God is the universe's consciousness. God is the field. And you are not separate from that. Chapter 18, The Collective Awakening, Why You Are Necessary. Why does this matter? Why are you watching this video right now? Because humanity is at a threshold. We are standing on the brink of self-destruction, driven by the illusion of separation. The shift from believing in a separate God to recognizing ourselves as the unified field is the next step in human evolution. It is the move from adolescence independence to adulthood interdependence. You are the architecture of this shift. Quantum physics teaches us about field effects. When one part of a system changes, the whole system changes. When you wake up, you create a ripple in the field. Your recognition makes it easier for your children, your neighbors, and strangers to wake up. This is morphic resonance applied to consciousness. You are not just watching a documentary. You are participating in a cosmic event. The field is organizing its own awakening through you. Chapter 19, The Protocol. Knowledge is useless without application. You cannot just agree with this. You must be this. Here is the practice that will stabilize this recognition. It takes only 60 seconds 5 times a day. The divine quantum recognition. 1. Pause, stop whatever you are doing. Set an alarm if you have to. 2. Recognize, say internally, I am not a separate individual. I am the unified field experiencing itself through this form. 3. Feel, drop the concept. Feel the awareness itself. Feel the buzz of life in your hands. That is God. 4. Observe, for the remaining seconds, look at your world through the eyes of the field. Not me looking at the computer, but the universe looking at itself. Do this for 7 days. Watch your anxiety drop. Watch your synchronicities spike. Watch the illusion of separation dissolve. Conclusion: the signature. We have journeyed from the particle to the planet, from the laboratory to the altar. We have discovered that science and spirituality are not enemies. They are the left and right hands of the same body. The unified field is God. God is the unified field. And you are the field recognizing itself. You are the key. You are the lock. You are the seeker and the sought. The search is over. The recognition has begun. Your action step: I want you to do one thing to anchor this reality. Drop into the field awareness for just 3 seconds right now. Let a single word emerge from that silence. Write that one word in the comments below. That word is your quantum signature. It is the first act of your awakened consciousness. And look at the next video appearing on your screen. It is not random. The field, which is you, has orchestrated the perfect timing for that specific transmission to reach you next. Click it. Watch it. Deepen the knowing. Welcome to the new paradigm. Welcome home.